Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Strompcast International Edition, probably the last international edition of the Strompcast for a while. Unfortunately, Portugal go crashing out in this one. But before we get to the doom and gloom, let me introduce you to my co-host. First, you got Chris. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, I mean, watching France today kind of reminded me a little bit about, because you try to forget about it in the immediate aftermath. So I managed to not really think about it at all this weekend. And then I saw France playing again today, and I was like, could have been us.
Yeah,
but honestly, I'm pretty sure we would have lost to the Spanish. So I think they're probably better than us for sure. Maybe we could have fucking shithoused it or something. But what I'm trying to say is I felt a little bit better about it after today. Not that I'm excited to see the Spanish make it to the final. I'm not, but
who's your other finalist, Chris? Who do you think?
I would hope the Netherlands, but it probably won't
like
be.
the Netherlands.
I'm rooting for
Spain. I'm rooting against Spain regardless.
I like Spain against either of those two, but
yeah,
I'm rooting for not England. So come on, either of the other two.
Part of me wants to see England win just to see what would happen.
Dude, I don't know if
I'm a man of chaos.
I don't know, man. That's gonna be tough to see that.
Yeah, definitely. And last one, let's go over Richard. How you doing today, man?
I'm good. At least one team came out clutch last week in a shootout, and that was the mighty Canadians. We move. We're in the Copa semifinals tonight.
Eustachio missed his penalty.
Eustachio broke my heart, man. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
It worked out in the end.
It worked out. Psycho game. Yeah, they play Argentina tonight, which is as of this recording, which is wild. I would not have predicted that at all. But yeah, I'm fired up for that. Disappointed by the Portuguese, but we're used to it. I feel like at this stage, and we'll kind of get into that, right?
I mean, it's 3-4 disappointing tournaments in a row, realistically.
Pretty much every major tournament since the Euro win,
since
2016,
since the goated one,
save for the Nations League in between.
True, that was.
But
that even counts.
I'll count it, kind of. It's like when people count the Confederations Cup, which, by the way, bring back the Confederations Cup. That's my monthly bring that tournament back spiel. But yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah, and of course, Danny isn't here, but you can follow him there. You can also follow myself there, but most importantly, on all social media and podcast platforms, follow all things Alvalade to keep up to date with sporting and, Portugal news as well when it happens. But other than that, let's get into sort of the doom and gloom. And that is the Portugal versus France game. Of course, Portugal getting knocked out on penalties due to João Felix missing the crucial one. But the lineup is as follows: Diogo Costa in goal, João Cancelo, Nuno Mendes, Pepe, Ruben Dias, Rafael Leão, João Palhinha, Vitinha, Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, and Ronaldo. Off the bench came Richard's favourite Nelson Semedo, Conceição, Ruben Neves, João Felix, and Mateus Nunes. Richard, I'll start off with you since your boy was playing there. So
my boys, yeah.
5 for 5, bro. 5 every game.
I was on my knees prior to this begging to not see these two, and they made a cameo in every game. Do you know how demoralizing that is as a fan?
If it wasn't Nelson Semedo, it would have been Totti Gomes to come on every single game.
I could live with Totti Gomes. Totti Gomes isn't even that bad.
Dude, why does he love him so? Is this a new thing? Has he always just loved Nelson Semedo? I don't remember that.
I don't remember. I thought we thought Totti Gomes was ride or die. Bro didn't even make the team.
I think he got more minutes than Gallo got, right? Nelson Semedo.
Yeah, for sure.
What are we
I mean,
doing?
he didn't get many because it was only really in 20-minute increments, but I'd say he got over 100 minutes probably.
Oh, he got at least a game's worth of time, give or take.
I tweeted it the other day.
It's just what can we say about this game? This game could have been won by Portugal in 90. It could have even been won prior to penalties, but it wasn't, because why would it be? I have so much beef. Pep was a massive this game. Diogo Costa was huge this game. I thought Cancelo played well.
This tournament, sorry to interrupt, was just a real eye opener for me for Diogo Costa. I've always thought he was good.
Yeah.
But I think now he's showing the leadership quality now. I think that he was maybe lacking in previous tournaments, being like a commander of the defense, and maybe just that's his experience. But Diego Costa for me is one of the standouts of this tournament, and yeah, one of the standouts by far.
Yeah. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I'm
Nice.
tired of this team. Ronaldo did not look good. If this was not a game for the Ronaldo fan club at all, he was just mistiming on everything. Bruno again having a stinker. Bruno had an awful tournament, I would dare say. It was just disjointed again on attacks. It was just crosses, inshallah. The one that really stunk was the one right at the end of extra time, the Nuno Mendes chance, wide open, free shot, and he just drills it right at Maignan, the goalkeeper. Just, it was kind of emblematic of the whole tournament, of every game of this tournament, which is when they get pressed, they look like crap sometimes. They can hold possession for a long time, but they can't find a way to get past a low blocking team. And their crosses were awful for the most part. And when they got chances, there was no finishing touch, or there was nobody on the end of it. It was just a mess all around, really. Like, were they the better team as a whole? I would say so. But the penalty kicks, you get to that, it's a crapshoot. Everybody ripping on Joao Felix, like I've ripped on him last show. Like, it would have been anybody if they missed it. It just happened to be he missed it. So I'm not gonna go too deep on him. I did say
set
as soon
up
as I
to
saw him.
fail. I mean,
He was set up to fail. Like, you don't, and that's what I hate. As soon as I saw him bring subs on with like 2-3 minutes to go in extra time, and we've seen this before.
Should have been Semedo, bro.
Yeah, he brought Semedo the GOAT. I called it as soon as he brought those guys on. I'm like, one of these guys is taking a penalty and they're going to miss. Because we saw it at the last Euros in the final, actually, England against Italy. Gareth Southgate this is story time, flashback, brought on like 2 or 3 subs right at the end of extra time, stone cold, and they all missed their subsequent penalties because the worst thing you can do to a player is bring them on with 0 game time and 0 chance to get into a rhythm and say, you're basically just going on to take a high-pressure penalty kick and a high-pressure situation.
In all fairness, he did it again, and it worked.
He did it again, and it worked, but like a broken clock is right twice in a day.
But to be fair, he brought on like probably the best penalty takers England had in general. So like, It wasn't just bringing people on for the sake of it. But yeah, I agree.
This was just like he was set up to fail. Like, that was you can't do that to player.
Should have just smashed it down the middle, honestly.
Yeah, if in doubt,
that's what I said when he walked up. I was like, if he doesn't just put his head down and go center, this is a miss. And it was.
I had a feeling as soon as I saw him walking up. It was not a banner tournament for Joao
Coach. Coach wants to help him, bro. I mean, there's a case that he probably shouldn't have even been in this team, bro. Coach,
I would agree. I would agree.
He had a big chance at the end of the second overtime. He probably should have headed it back across goal, went for a tight angle, and put it in the side netting.
It was a free header, and he puts it in the net. Like, it. I was one of the people. I don't think he should have gone the tournament. I think his cameo, penalty kick aside, I think the couple cameos we got from him showed he didn't really have a business being on the team right now. He's just not in the right headspace to be playing like key minutes for the national team, I think. We're just going to look back at this tournament as another waste. This is going to be like the 3rd or 4th missed opportunity. I do think this is the
team is probably
generation.
Better than the World Cup team.
It's at least equal.
Yeah.
It's at least equal.
The World Cup feels like a waste too. I mean, we went out to Morocco, who, although did have a solid team.
You felt like you should have at least got another round out of that World Cup. Same at the Euros. Like, I think at the last Euros, they should have got at least another round deep. Same at the World Cup before that. They should have at least got to quarterfinals, I think. This team feels a bit like Belgium over the last few years, where they kind of just peak at the quarterfinals, and that might be it. That might be their ceiling. I think this team is a bit overrated. I think the coaching was way off. I think Martinez was out of his depth. We had no clue what the tactics were. We played players out of position like every game at one point or another. Like someone was just not playing where they're supposed to be by design, and that was so stupid. You can't expect to be successful in a tournament like that. He didn't know his best 11. He didn't know his best formation, and he didn't even know where he should play guys. It's just he's out of his depth, and I am here on the train of give me Jorge Jesus or give me Sergio Conceição. Give me someone who's gonna whip some of these guys into shape. I'll blame the coaching all I want, but at the same time, some of these players built like baby shit. Bunch of babies, like no fight, no dog in them as well. That's like my big criticism. It's like as soon as they have to chase a game or like things don't go well in plan A, they just fold. And it's been like that for 4 tournaments in a row, and maybe that's just this group. Maybe this group isn't as good as people have been saying, as good as the pundits have been saying, and as good as we've been thinking the last couple years. Maybe this
There's
is their
also
ceiling.
just like I feel like they're just rudderless because although Ronaldo has the armband, he's not leading any of them in any way, shape, or form. And even a guy like Bruno, you just don't see the same like captain shit that you see from him at the club level. I feel like who is the leader of this team? Pep, maybe he's gone. Ruben Diaz, maybe
Pep's gone.
It just feels like they're
Ruben
rudderless,
Diaz
man.
probably. Yeah.
Their coach isn't the leader. Like no one's in charge. I feel like
No, like what do we do? Like who's calling the shots? Like this is the NWO. Who's the third man? Who's calling the shots here? Who's in charge of this? Like that, and that's the big thing. Everything from top to bottom is so disorganized and such a mess. From the coaching to the captaincy to even the superstars who are out there, like it's just so disorganized. Like what do you do? What's the solution? Do you just can the coach and hope for something and hire somebody else and hope something changes? Do you make some drastic changes players and tactically? Like what do you do? Because I think I'm out of ideas. I'd say we've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas. They've tried stuff and nothing's worked.
They should have tried starting Nelson Semedo and Ruben Neves and seen.
Should have played him the whole time. Ruben Neves captain. That would have done the job. I'm sure.
Yeah.
If I ever have to see Ruben Neves and Nelson Semedo on the pitch at the same time again, I'm swimming.
It's July, August. You're gonna see him in 2 months on the pitch.
That's just
swimming. I'm swimming from Canada to Lisboa. I'm gonna fly to Halifax. I'm gonna swim from Halifax to Lisboa. Maybe stop at the Azores in between, and it's on site. If I run into Roberto Martinez, he better know sign language because all he's gonna see is hands. I'm over it. I'm done.
You better hope they play in Portugal. They don't swim there and find out they're playing an away game.
They're playing like in Bosnia or some shit. It's like where are they? They're not here. Oh, they're over in Lithuania. Like.
But yeah, Chris, what were your overall thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely thought that we probably were the slightly more dangerous team, over the course of the time. But I will say that France definitely had some big chances. Like they had like less domination, I would say. But they had a couple moments where it broke, and it feels like their 2 or 3 biggest chances were all put wide of the net. Right? Like they were all like just wide. Diogo Costa had like the one pretty good save. But to be honest, I mean, I could have easily seen this been a 1-1, to be honest, but it still would have had the same outcome, Maybe we could have squeaked it, perhaps. Would have been a more likely outcome than them sneaking it, I feel like. But, the game going to the distance kind of feels fair, I guess. Although, like, it's not like I was that impressed by this French team. I didn't think that they played that well. They lost. Their star man's not been at 100% this tournament. To be fair, our star man's in a wheelchair, so both limited, I guess, in that respect. This was definitely his worst game. There were moments in the previous 4 games where his performance was, I would describe, passable. It was never like bang. Like there was like 15 seconds total of like that was so sick. He had like the one back heel through ball, so he had like 15 seconds of that was sick. Maybe like 30 minutes of passable and just maybe a couple hundred minutes of just terrible. His management, I feel like throughout the tournament was horrible. Probably should have let him rest in that pointless game against Georgia. The man also has no confidence. Maybe if like because I think he had like an XG of like 3.5. If he just sees the ball hit the net once or twice, maybe he doesn't miss that pen, like it feels like the difference between like, I don't know, like let's just say his overall through his average, like his rating, through all the games, I would say is probably like a 5.0. Like maybe if a couple more things go right, that's a 6.0, which is like a little bit better, but
the best game was the Turkey one, where he was being a bit more unselfish, quote unquote, so to speak. And
that was all their
still
best
didn't
games,
score.
to be honest.
Yeah, true as well.
But yeah, that was his best game for sure. I mean it's tough. I don't think they're not gonna fire the coach. It's impossible, I feel like. He just had a good qualifying run.
It would have happened by now if they were going to.
He still won a round, right, in the knockout. They won their group, although not the most convincingly. Like,
and they lose in penalties.
I just don't see him being fired. So I mean, that's probably not going to happen.
He's only under contract too for till the end of the next World Cup cycle. So
okay.
I also
realistically, you only have 2 more years of them.
There's no way
sacking it against France as well. If we went out to like a Switzerland, or we did go out to Slovakia or something.
Maybe,
if they go out in the group stage, or even like in the last round, then we might be having a more serious discussion about that. But I think because they got around another round deep,
and against France as well.
I mean, assuming he keeps
on
qualification okay for the World Cup, like he's not gonna not be the coach of the World Cup.
I don't think he'll get sacked, but he could go to Saudi or say someone.
Oh, I mean, that'd be awesome if they took him off our hands, but I don't know if they're gonna do.
Oh, I'll swap him for George Jesus. You won't. Odds.
Pay his buyout, man. Take him.
No.
But yeah, I mean, what more can you say? It's incredibly disappointing in the end. So many players just not at the level that they should be at, or the level that we know that they can be at, that we've seen them be at, that they have been at like 3 months ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. And it's tough to not put a good chunk of that on a manager who, looking at his tactics, I mean, did he just trip his way into just sweeping qualification? Like, I don't know. I don't know how he did that, because Portugal never does that, and he somehow did that. And looking back on that, it's like, how? Even though obviously their group wasn't that hard, but
no, we called it at the end of qualification. Like, it's great, it's awesome. Like, be proud of it, but also like take a bit of a grain of salt, because they didn't have to play like
anyone.
They have to they didn't have like.
I mean, Luxembourg was one of the harder games,
but like they didn't have to play like a killer. They didn't have to play a team at or around their level realistically through qualifying, and we saw that during the lead up to the tournament, the exhibition games. And even at the tournament, when they had to play teams that are closer to their level, they struggled mightily, like just brutal. Like the second they come up against a team that knows how to actually defend, they have no plan B. They're just like crossing it. It becomes cruiser ball. It's crossing inshallah and hope. And it's just the most frustrating thing ever to watch.
And like, at least in fucking Saudi League, Ronaldo scored like 12 headers, bro.
Yeah.
He couldn't even like time his jump right. Like, I literally don't know how he got so bad between like May and June.
Well, a month, maybe month and a half.
What was he doing, man? He literally looked like he didn't even he didn't look like he belonged at all.
No, he looked so.
2 more years, a 41-year-old Ronaldo, bro. Like,
he can't.
I don't even want to know what that's gonna look like.
You cannot,
bro.
in good conscience, make him a starter.
Shit.
You can't. I don't care what. Like, if you're.
I hope he keeps banging him in Saudi, because it's hilarious and awesome. But dude,
yeah. Also, is anybody else's like
But at the
timelines
same
just
time,
get
Portugal better get
inundated.
a fucking striker, man. Betu
They need
better
a goal.
round
They
into
need a guy who
form.
can finish. They need a goal scorer.
Gonzalo
Paulinho
Ramos
was
better
right
become a
there.
full timer.
Paulinho
Paulinho
was
better
right
start being the Liga MX leading scorer. Well, for
They'll
Paulinho
never
to get
call
a
him now
shout
that he's
now,
in
he literally
Mexico.
has to be the top scorer. He has to
He
be the
needs to
top
score
scorer in
like
the league.
40 goals a
Basically.
season for them to even think about it, I think. Like
0-0 in his
this
first game.
sucks.
Although he almost had an assist.
He did. He did almost have an assist. Man, it's just they need a goal scorer. They need so many things. It's just annoying. Like this team is the most frustrating thing. I hate this team. They're so frustrating to watch, and you can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah. I was just not going to repeat too much of what you guys say, but for me, I think this game, the back four, probably had their best game in the entire tournament. I thought Ruben Dias was really good in this game as well. Nuno Mendes and Cancelo. When Cancelo was brought off, man, I was screaming at my TV because he was just
Why
so
was he
good.
brought? He was playing so well, and that's another thing. These subs were so wrong.
He did that like 3 times, bro.
Yeah.
If Bruno
Same
could
with
finish,
Leao.
that pass from Cancelo was crazy to put Bruno Fernandes through, and Bruno Fernandes just misses it, and he should score. And
yeah,
you know, he brings off Cancelo. And if we were going for penalties, I know it's hindsight, but bringing Bruno Fernandes off, he's someone who you'd want to keep on penalties. Taker. But I guess he to his credit, Bruno Fernandes was brought off in the second half. It was an extra time, so I guess you can sort of give away with that one. Paulinho, I thought, was excellent in this game as well. I thought that yellow card was very, very harsh. I know it was a bit of a follow through on the tackle, but one more ball. And but yeah,
I said in the chat, he gets so many bullshit yellows. I mean, obviously he gets a lot of yellows because he's constantly throwing his body in there
at least once a game.
Yeah, he's netting like 25 defensive actions a game. So yeah, you pick up fouls, you pick up yellows. But dude, he gets so many bullshit yellows.
So many yellows. You're like, oh come on, like that's the yellow. Like what about the one 5 minutes ago? Like come on.
Yeah, and I mentioned Diego Costa earlier, but speaking of opening eyes in this tournament, Vitinha, man. What a player!
Player of the tournament for
critical.
Yeah, without a doubt, player of the tournament, and he got subbed off so many times. It's like
again, like the subs made no sense. It's like the substitutes that he was making every game was like, this guy's playing so well. He's been one of your best players driving the play. Why would you sub them off? And it was always like Vitinha, or when Cancelo was having a good game. Leao was having a good game one game, subbed him right off. I'm like, all the substitutions that he was making, almost every single one killed the team's momentum at some point. Like it just made zero sense.
The thing I will say is social media was a bit split on the Conceição performance, but I thought he did really well coming off the bench. I think this whole game, the final product in crossing, shooting just wasn't there. But in terms of ball carrying, I thought him and Leao. Well, mostly just this game.
Okay.
But yeah, like Leao and Conceição I thought were very good. Bernardo Silva again was good at holding the ball, but nothing great this tournament. And that's the story of Bernardo Silva's Portugal career.
He finally scored a goal, but that's about it.
Tournament, yeah.
And
I also just want to point out one thing and another thing. You know who we didn't see this game was Big Pedro Neto. He brought a guy who played like 12 minutes this season, claimed it was some big tactical thing, and the guy played one game. He had an assist on the game-winning goal, and then we never heard from him again.
On a dog shit cross.
Somehow
went through the guy's legs.
Yeah. So I just want to point out the selection committee that slandered us for criticizing that. You're welcome, because we were right. He brought that guy, didn't play him at all, basically. Waste of a roster spot. I don't care that they won the first game.
Conceição was so bad in the game before this, but he was much better in this one, I thought.
Yeah, he was very. I think because they put him on the wrong wing when he came on the last time, it just showed how one-footed he is. But when he came on this side, it was like, And to be fair, Leao had Koundé on skates the whole game.
He has like almost. He does that like almost no matter who's marking him. It feels like, and then he gets brought off in the 57th minute.
Yeah, he just cooks guys, and the coach is like, "No, you're having too much fun. Get out." I feel like that's literally what it is.
If his cross, I mean, let's be real. He probably had like 25 crosses this tournament, and he completed 3 of them. So that needs to improve. But I mean, his 1-1 is ridiculous.
He never looks up when he crosses his. I've noticed that he always
He's
focus on the
just
ball.
looking down the whole time.
That would help a
Look where the
little
ball's
bit.
going.
Just take a
Yeah.
peek,
Look where you're
brother.
trying to put the
Look
ball.
where you're aiming. Just take a peek.
You got
The thing about
time.
him, he always is smiling as well. It is
Yeah.
Yeah.
nice to see actually. He's just smiling.
That's why
all the time.
that's why he gets subbed off at like the 60th minute because coach is like, no, you can't. Too much fun. Get off. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You think this is a joke?
Yeah.
You think that's a game? It is a game, but it's not a game. Get out of here. That's what I feel like the coach is doing.
Yeah, I do think as well fatigue was a big issue in this. If we don't play the 120 minutes against Slovakia, are we also Slovenia? I can't remember which one it was. I think it's Slovakia, right? One of them.
No, it's
Slovenia.
it's Slovenia.
Slovenia.
4R.
No,
It's 4R.
that was it. Yeah.
Slovenia. Smart enough.
I think if we don't play 120 minutes against Slovenia, we probably win this in 90 minutes, maybe extra time. And I think it showed, especially I thought Leao was very tired, even though he played very good. I'm surprised Pepe lasted the 120 minutes.
I feel like that's his excuse for why he takes him off was he's tired.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, he was tired in this one and he lasted longer than he did in the other ones, but he still took him off.
That's true. Yeah. Pepe probably playing. I do think he'll probably retire in general from football after this.
Yeah, judging by like body language, just like post game comments, I think he's probably done.
The only
Which
way
is shame because he could easily go on like another. Yeah, like it's a shame because like when healthy, he's still like their best player or one of them. It's crazy to think that like
he's our best defender by miles.
It's like
if this guy wasn't 41,
it's like if LeBron James, it's like if LeBron James accepting like a bench role in like 2 years to play like 20 to 25 minutes a game, be like a 6th, 7th man, come off the bench, still contribute. Like there's not really a role like that in football, especially for defenders.
No.
So it puts them in a tough spot, you know?
Yeah. It sucks because like
unless he wants to be like the Luis Neto of Porto, which it's like he's probably better than that. I mean,
he's too good for that role.
I mean,
like,
Neto's only playing like max like 8 to 12 games a season. I mean, he could probably give you a little bit more than that.
If you can, like that's the crappy part because like if his body just wasn't he
can't give you 45, you know.
Yeah, if his body wasn't that of a 41-year-old man or however the heck old he is, like he would still be like one of the best defenders on the team, like on most teams. But his body's just like no, give up. And he's so good. He's like, yeah, but what if I didn't? And it's like, damn, this guy's still pretty good, kinda. And it's just it's sad to see because like I'd really like to see him play in at least another couple years, but like. He doesn't know Portugal. He doesn't know the sport, anything. Like he's won everything outside of a World Cup. Like dude deserves.
Go join Ronaldo in Saudi. I reckon he might do it.
Go collect the payday. Come to MLS. Come to TFC. We could use a guy like him.
I'll take him at Sporting at this point.
I'll take him wherever. I'll take him. I need him. I need that Pep at MLS court shattering Inter Miami player ankles. You know, just. Shit house against Luis Suarez and Messi and the boys.
There's the picture that everyone sees of Ronaldo and Pep in the Sporting training jersey in 2000.
Oh
yeah. So maybe he recreates that, but who knows? Yeah. I think he's gone now. I think he's retiring. But to be fair, very good career as well. Like probably
he won like La Ligas. He won the Euros
multiple
with
Champions
us.
Leagues, Euros.
Champions League titles with Real Madrid. I mean, won everything with Porto. And was beloved there too. I mean, outside of a World Cup, he's pretty much completed football.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's not much else to like. If he retires, well done. UEFA Nations League.
Taça de Liga, I think he finally got as well.
He finally got his Taça de Liga a year or two ago. That's right. So he has completed the set.
Yeah, there's one player I've not spoken about yet, and it is obviously Ronaldo. And if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see that I've been getting a lot of stick recently for
Ronaldo stand's been on full out attack on social media the last like.
It's a tough time to be a Ronaldo stan right now.
They've been on full on like attack mode on the second you slander him even a bit. Like 8 accounts.
I didn't even slander him though. I just said he didn't. I don't think he put Portugal on the map, and I was like,
I think Figo put us on the map. I think Eusebio put us on the map.
I think Eusebio
put us on the map. Like
in terms of actual Portuguese football, Jose
Mourinho
put us on the map as well with what he did with Porto in the Champions League. Because then that sort of led to the explosion of, how many Portuguese players did Chelsea bust that, and then that led to like. Nani
all the
coming over,
managers as well.
all these guys coming over. So anyway, discussion for another time. I'm sure we can talk about that.
But yeah, the second you put like a negative word, it's why I've avoided like putting anything out about Ronaldo on social, because like the second you put something even remotely negative about him, even if it's taken out of context, like people just attack you and like want you to die. And it's like, man, like do touch grass. Go if you are one of those people like who just gets angry on social media like that, go outside, touch grass, go hug your mother or your father, go do something.
The guy who called me a grifter, a sporting grifter, like supporting sporting's ever come good of anything.
That was crazy.
Bro. I wish the grift for sport. I don't. I mean, that's probably a reason there's not that many like sporting influencers, because I don't think the grift's too good.
Ain't there for sport.
I don't think the grift's paying too good.
If I was trying to grift, I'd be a Man City fan. I'd be a Barcelona fan. I'd be literally any other fan than a Sporting fan, dog.
Yeah, a grifter that watched us finish 7th, and then we finished 4th last year and 4th 2 years before that.
A grifter that paid money on purpose to watch Anderson Polga play football.
Spent thousands of pounds on probably just shipping alone for sporting shirts.
Yeah. Like, brothers,
anyway,
come on.
Yeah, but I will say, people like to label me as anti-Ronaldo or anything. I do love Ronaldo as a footballer. I've got multiple of his jerseys. There's one right there. I've got one hanging up on my wall at the moment, which you can't really see. He's probably one of the people that have got me into football and is undoubtedly one of the greatest of all time. If you want to think he's the greatest, that's fine. I personally don't think that, but you know, I do like Ronaldo. But the last 2 tournaments are damaging currently his legacy, and it is shown that he cannot start for this team anymure. I don't know if he
have it anymore.
People say bring off the bench, but I also don't think off the bench he would offer that much anyway. Because what he is now is a target man, wait in the box for crosses, win headers,
which is fine.
He doesn't win anything.
He's not really doing.
He's not winning, but he's not winning 90% of the balls coming to him. That's the problem.
Yeah. The one thing I will say about Ronaldo in this tournament, I thought his movement in some places was very good. There was that one chance he had, which he skied, unfortunately, but the movement to get there was very good. But it's all good having movement. But if you're not, the thing is, he can't take anyone on anymore. He can't create his own chances. He's not fast anymore. And in modern football, you need your striker to sort of have one of those things. You can make the argument for maybe like Man City, for Haaland, that's not really true. But in terms of other strikers, look at your
Haaland. I feel like he never takes anyone. He never takes anyone on with speed. Like whenever he takes someone on, bro, he's standing still. He stops the ball and he's like trying to fake him, and then he passes it backwards, bro.
Yeah.
Like understand you're not gonna blow by them, but like when you're going forward, you're harder to defend, you know, than if you're just standing still. Like, I don't know. He doesn't do himself any favors.
Also, Sam, like the people that argue, like, well, Haaland's not quick. Yeah, Haaland's also a bully, though. Like Victor Jokeres, like they can. And guys like that can still.
That's what I was going to say.
Their way to the ball and win.
We can trust Victor Jokeres to create his own chances and score. You can ask the best strikers to do that. Mbappe, probably their front three of Mbappe, Griezmann, and Colomani could probably all do that on their own. Maybe not so much Colomani, but definitely Griezmann and Mbappe, because we've seen them do it. But he just doesn't. There's nothing wrong with getting old, and I think that's the thing that most Ronaldo fans need to know. I'm not calling him bad by any stretch of the imagination, because for a 41-year-old, he's still very good, right? But he just cannot do it at the top level anymore. And if he could, he wouldn't be in Saudi, number 1 point. Number 2, he would have scored a goal this tournament, and he didn't. And he had chances to, and he couldn't. I'm not saying I've seen people say that he should go as a be in the World Cup squad but not play any minutes. Would his ego allow that? I don't know, but I think it's something to think about. If he does go to the World Cup, I don't think we're going to win anything. I think we might as well just go home.
Yeah, if he's like guaranteed 90 minutes in every game, like
you're not.
The ceiling is very low.
But the argument against
the ceiling will be what it was last World Cup, which is like a second or third round tops, and that's it. You're crashing out at the quarterfinals or round of 16.
Yeah, and the only argument people could say is, oh, what, you want Gonzalo Ramos playing instead, or Gonzalo Ramos is awful?
Gonzalo Ramos was still the second top scorer on a PSG team that included Kylian Mbappe.
But also, how would you know these players aren't good? Gonzalo Ramos didn't get a sniff. Not even against Georgia. He didn't get to start.
The people that say Gonzalo Ramos is nothing definitely watch PSG games week in, week out, by the way. I just want you to know that. They're definitely following Liga religiously.
I would have liked to at least see anything.
A cameo, something, anything, just to see that he was alive.
Say what you want about João Felix. I don't rate João Felix that much as a footballer, but there are some times I look at this game, I was like, we need to make a sub and bring Ronaldo off. That was the main issue. There were some times that Ronaldo was there, and Vitinha was getting brought off, and we just mentioned Vitinha's been the best player in the whole tournament.
Bringing off the best player on the pitch right now. It was so frustrating.
Leao was beating past players to get taken off.
Is he like afraid of him or something, bro? Is he afraid of his agent? Like, what the fuck, dude?
I don't think Martinez calls all the shots, personally.
I'm
Mr. Conspiracy Man, where he's actually been told by someone.
It's like anyone can look at this game and be like, if I take that guy off and put in anyone, it won't make it worse, bro.
Almost every pundit.
It's not going to make it worse. Pedro Neto is not going to make it worse. João Felix is not going to make it worse. Conte is not literally any other attacking option we have. Ramos, literally anyone. It's not going to. How could it get worse? It's literally impossible.
Jota starts for Liverpool and scores many goals for Liverpool in probably the best league in the world.
He barely got time, and that's the frustrating part. Every pundit clip. Or whatever coverage I was watching, whether it was like TSN here in Canada, who has brilliant coverage in these tournaments, or BBC or ITV, or literally or Optus and from New Zealand, every pundit at halftime or post game or whatever, all had the same message of he just doesn't have it like he used to. It doesn't mean he's bad. He's just not as reliable, and that's not someone you should be counting on to give you all the goals.
It's like, bro, I've seen it before. I've seen very good Portugal teams get stuck. Because, dude, we didn't have a number 9 for so long, bro. Think about guys who played up top for Portugal. Macapula,
Hugo Almeida.
Fucking Hugo Almeida. Yeah, it's like, I've seen a good team get stuck with the donkey up top, bro. And
we watched Adair at the World Cup I know he scored the goal in the Euros, but let's be real.
He wasn't good,
Adair. He wasn't good. He just got lucky because it was the one time he picked a defender. We struggled after Pauletta and Nuno Gomes left the team with 0 number 9s that could consistently score. Or at least create chances or get good opportunities for the players around them. And he's not doing that anymore. 3-4 years ago, absolutely. He was still doing that. He could be that guy.
You could even forgive last World Cup because it's just the last one that just went. It's okay, because he had that controversy around him, but the season before he scored, I think 18 goals at Man United.
He had a put him in there.
That makes sense.
Season before on a bad team.
Yeah, but then it's now after the tournament you saw last time. And I know he's putting great numbers up in Saudi, but Jota puts good numbers up at Liverpool. And Gonzalo Ramos, like you said, PSG's second highest scorer behind one of, if not the best player in the world at this point. Mm-hmm. Why aren't these guys getting anything? And I did see, I can't remember who tweeted it now, but they said the reason Roberto Martinez doesn't bring him off is because when he brings him off, it's not, how is Portugal doing? It's always the controversy based on Ronaldo and Roberto Martinez bring Ronaldo off. It doesn't.
You know what? Then don't call him up.
Every single one.
If you're worried about what people are going to think, don't call him up. Just avoid the conversation. Exactly. If you're going to be a
because it always becomes a story. It doesn't become a story of Portugal playing. It becomes Ronaldo. Do you not remember when Ronaldo got benched against Switzerland? All the cameras were focused on Ronaldo. Everything was like,
it was so embarrassing. And the leaks about the fact they had to have a meeting with the coach and the president of the federation to be like, hey, we're not starting you. That was it was a national tragedy. If you're that worried,
and then Gonzalo Ramos scored a hat trick.
People were still mad. People still question the choice.
The worst thing afterwards, he scored the hat trick, and they were like, "Why is he starting against Morocco?" I'm like, "Why do you think he's starting against Morocco?"
It's if you're gonna be
I was literally trying to remember this the other day, and then I just didn't Google it, and now. Why did Gonzalo Ramos? Was Ronaldo suspended? Why did Ramos start in the first place in the hat trick game?
Because
Ronaldo was shit. That was it.
He actually just did. He just did manager. Fernando Santos just did manager option.
Yeah, they had to have a meeting. They had
I can't believe he did that.
The story goes that the night
Ronaldo
before,
Martinez is such a pussy. Then, bro,
the
what is
story,
wrong with him?
I'm convinced that's what lost Fernand Sanch his job. By the way,
The one
Not that they
time he
lost to
showed any
Morocco.
courage.
yeah, they had to, their story goes, and we're just quoting hearsay. This isn't us starting rumors. Was that they had to have a meeting the night before that round of 16 game with Fernand Sanch, Ronaldo, and the president of the federation of the Portuguese Federation, saying you are not starting the next game. We're going with Gonçalo Ramos. And I'm sorry if
And
you're
then
that
years
worried,
later, they're like, yeah, we're never doing that again, bro. We play every minute.
Yeah. And I'm sorry,
And you-
if you're that worried about like what people are gonna say about you benching a guy, don't fucking call him up.
Yeah, that's
Don't
just
wait.
yeah.
Don't be
normal
built like
behavior, man.
don't be built like fucking baby shit. Make a choice and stand by it.
And can I just
If
say
you're
as
that
well,
worried about what the press is gonna say, just don't call him up and avoid the conversation. I'd rather
Gonzalo
that.
Ramos scored a hat-trick against a Switzerland team, which beat Italy this tournament. The tournament before knocked France, the
They look
reigning
pretty
World Cup
good. They look pretty. I
and
really thought they were going to
almost knocked out
England.
Italy that same tournament, by the way, at the Euros.
took an England golden generation to extra time. And this was only a year removed. A year removed pretty much because it was in the winter of 2022.
Yeah.
And you're saying Gonzalo Ramos isn't good enough to start. All I hear is, oh, Ronaldo could have scored against Switzerland. Oh, Switzerland this.
Why didn't he score against Morocco? Why didn't he score
Switzerland
against Georgia or the Czechs?
They are
or
a good
Turkey?
team. Knocked out France and Italy and took England to extra time and all of this. And then it's just like, oh, because he scored a hat-trick last tournament. And, Morocco didn't go very well. But, yeah, you're not going to see another game in this Euros. It just doesn't make sense.
It's just
if the
it's just
standard is
frustrating.
one bad game gets you not another look again, that is just not an equally applied standard.
That's just not how sports works.
And
And
also,
to be
if
fair,
I'm-
every
I'm
manager
Gonzalo
does
Ramos-
that, right? Even Amorim does that shit, right? Every manager
Oh, yeah,
does that
for
to a
sure.
certain extent. But yeah, it's just like ridiculous. Extra.
If I'm Gonzalo
ridiculous
Ramos,
here.
I'm pissed off. And if I'm Jota, I'm pissed off too. Why am I
It's
putting
why,
in this
it's why Rafa stopped.
Dude, I wonder if
Not the national
anyone's
team.
gonna pull a Rafa and just be like, yeah, just do not.
That
involve me
happened
this
with Paulo
bullshit.
Bento. Like, remember what happened?
I'd rather go to fucking Maldives, man,
Yeah.
than just sit here and watch.
Wasn't
And
it
that happened
Ricardo
with-
Carvalho and Paulo Bento? I'm pretty sure.
Ricardo
right?
Carvalho. There was somebody like that, like Carlos Queiroz, like guys who were still kind of in the prime. Were like, no,
I
it's
think-
done.
Was it Ricardo Carvalho and
It was
Thiago?
Carvalho.
I think.
And Thiago.
A lot of those guys from the
stopped with
2004
Queiroz.
team kind of like Nuno Valent didn't really carry over past that.
Yeah. Once Queiroz came in and Paulo Bento, like those guys alienate those two coaches specifically. Queiroz and Paulo Bento alienated a lot of guys from that generation into early international retirement. And the only ones that came back was Ricardo Carvalho and Thiago. Deco could have probably played another tournament. Simao for sure. Miguel, like a lot of those guys who were like 29, 30 probably could have got another international tournament or two. But between Paulo Bento and Carlos Queiroz, they alienated so much of that generation. Those guys, a lot of those players, I think, were just like, fuck this. Don't have the energy to deal with this nonsense and just pieced out. And Rafa did do that, like with Fernand Sanch. He's like, stop calling me up and then not giving me even like a sniff. He was tired of it. He's like, I'm one of Benfica's best players. I should be getting better minutes than what I'm getting to begin with. And he had enough. And he's like, I'm done. I'm not putting up with the politics. And it wouldn't shock me if there's a player or two in the next year or so that does the same thing and says, nope, I'm done. I would. If it was me, I would.
It won't be Nelson Semedo or Ruben Neves.
It won't be those boys. They're the ride or dies.
Greatest
I know
manager
I know
ever.
exactly who it won't be. You are.
Yeah.
I hate how right you are, you English bastard. I hate you right now for that because you're right. God, I hate
But
this
yeah,
team.
there's not much else to speak on it. The thing is, right, we've gone out to France. I wouldn't say it's a disaster of a tournament, but
It's
I
just
will
such
always
a
feel that we could have
disappointment.
won this in 90 minutes. I just knew we could. If he made the right subs and if he made the right tactical changes, we could beat this France team. And like you said, if Nuno Mendes scores that, or if Bernardo Silva takes it before he passes it, just something, I think we could feel unlucky not to go through. Because like you said, penalties are lottery. I agree, João Felix missed the penalty. It happens. Someone's got to miss. Do I wish
Whoever
he
missed
was on target?
whoever
Yes.
missed was going to be villainized. Unfortunately, it was him. Unfortunately,
Yeah, I do feel bad. It's one of them where it's like, obviously you don't want anyone to have it, but if there was one player I didn't really want, like I feel really bad for, was him, because I feel like collectively as a nation, he stood up. We went, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" Like he's
as soon as I saw him go up, I'm like, yeah, he's missing this.
Dude,
it
like
was,
Pep
it was
would have
bad.
been a better option, bro.
Genuinely, me and my dad were like, "He's missing this," and then he did.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, damn,
I feel
I'm
like
so
a lot
smart.
of people did have that.
Like, why would you put him in that position, bro?
He was set up. It sucks for him. He was set up to fail.
But then
Like, there
look at
was
the
a no-win
team.
situation.
Who else is being there? Ruben Neves maybe is probably a better penalty taker, but then is Mateus Nunes, is Conceição, is Nelson Semedo, is
Nelson
who else
Semedo
is there?
should have taken it. He should have fucking stood on business and had
And
Nelson
just
Semedo.
gone and rolled with it.
This
Pick
is your
number one.
man, bro. Let's
That's
see
your
what
boy,
he's got.
right? That's your boy. Like ride or die, chips on the table. Let's go.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we'll be unlucky. I think it was unlucky. I really thought we could have done a lot more damage in this competition, but you know what? It is what it is. Like I think, if we played Spain, we probably would have lost anyway. Spain,
and that's what I said with Danny on a couple shows before. We did like the bracket prediction, just him and I. And we're actually looking to be maybe spot on. We got the semifinals right. Like we got Spain beating France even in the semifinal. We're off on who we had, I think, going to the other semi. We had England and I think Austria, which was a way off.
It looked all right after 3 games.
But we still have England in the final. Like it's still on. So yeah, it feels like another wasted tournament where they could have done more with it and they didn't. And it's like you only get so many chances at like with a certain group of players before it's over. And that's what it's starting to feel like. I feel like the next World Cup with this group of guys is probably it for that group of guys for the most part.
Yeah, definitely. Especially for some of the older boys that we mentioned, Pepe already.
I will say Ronaldo not crying is a really bad.
He was laughing.
It's a bad.
He was smiling.
He cried more when he missed the penalty against. He cried more when he missed the penalty in the last game than he did when they went out on penalty. He
cried when they went out to Morocco. I mean, he thought that
he stormed off the field crying when they lost.
He thought that was the end, or he thought that was his last World Cup. But now he's like, actually, I got one more
in me. I got one more in me, Vince Carter style.
Pep, on the other end, did know it was the end and was crying. Ronaldo knows it's not the end, was not crying. That's my take.
More. I still got it was the Sam, it's the Mark Henry. I got a lot left in the tank.
Do you know what I love the Homelander comparisons. It is so
no, it's true though. He is
So
Homelander. He's Portuguese Homelander. what would be the Portuguese name for Homelander? He's him.
Casalander. I don't know.
Casalander. Casaterra. Casaterra. That's what he is. He's Homelander. He's Portuguese Homelander.
Yeah, it is. I just love those memes so much.
Yeah, they've been funny.
Yeah. Speaking of crying and sadness, out of the blue,
it's been a rough week.
Captain Coates leaves in what felt like 4 seconds.
He just
the news broke.
It was so quick. It was overnight. It was so quick.
I believe we were one of the first to break it for Portugal. There was a few Uruguayan journalists and South American journalists, but when we tweeted it, we got a lot of traction on it, saying that. Like,
are we hashtag insiders now, Sam? Is that what we are?
I mean, I just saw someone's tweet, and I just,
you pulled a Fabrizio Romano, just piggybacked off of someone else.
Yeah, I mean, he's made a career out of doing that. So
yeah,
great. The translate feature on Twitter works lovely. You just press the button, does it, copy and paste, bang, sorted. But no. Coates leaves for Nacional, in which I believe is a free transfer. There's been nothing confirmed.
I think they rescinded his contract. Yeah,
he is still training at Alcochete. He won't be a part, but he will be at the Single Villarreal game before he leaves, and that will be his big send off. As you know, Neto got one, Adan got one. That's going to be Coates' one. Unfortunately, Paulinho didn't get one. Man, he's already playing for Mexico. Doesn't even get any rest. He goes straight into it.
He literally, zero off season for Paulinho. Really.
Well, I guess he came off the bench most times anyway. He didn't really play that many 90 minutes. But Coates goes. You can see here 369 games played, over 32,000 minutes played, 37 goals, 14 assists, 2 league titles, 4 Taça Ligas, 1 Taça Portugal, and because someone mentioned it in there, a super tasser as well.
This is super toss erasure from you, Sam. I will not stand this. You've done this before.
I will never put it as an accomplishment. I will never do it.
I'll fight you right now. Super toss. Don't take away the super tosses.
But yeah, I am going to ask both of you. I'll start with you, Richard. Your favorite Coates moment, or maybe moments. What are your favorite memories of Coates?
I think the 2 goals against Gil Vicente in the league title winning season, because that was a game that really felt like if you lost, suddenly the lead starts to evaporate and there's no and the confidence levels kind of skim down a bit. So I think that's one of the big. I think any clutch goal from that season specifically would go down for me as one of the big ones. I think just the fact that he stayed after the Alcochete attacks when he probably could have left, and a lot of guys did leave, and he chose to stay, and he didn't have an obligation to stay.
There was a cheat code to just to either get a higher salary or to just leave and go to whatever club you wanted. And with one simple trick, you can just get out of your contract.
Yeah.
Doctors hate.
And he stayed. He stayed. So, he's been here since 2016, so he's seen a lot. He was here in a world pre-COVID, and he's been in here in a world post-COVID. Like, crazy to think about.
The pre-Amorim, post-Amorim.
Yeah.
All we had to do was wait, I think, 1 more year, and it would have been 10.
It would have been 10 on the dot. Yeah, it would have been 10 this January coming up.
Yeah.
Like it sucks. Like, I think if anybody's earned, like, in the modern era, which doesn't say a lot because we've had a lot of crappy players and not a lot to celebrate in the last 20 to 30 years, deserves, like, legend status, like, I would say him. Just for longevity alone, for the fact that he had such a bounce back year this year after being so bad. Not even so bad, just being off and hurt last year. Even the league title winning season, like, we were like, oh, Coates is going to be one of our defenders again. Like, this team's cooked. And then he just went God mode. And we're like, never mind. Put Coates on every corner as a striker. Don't care. So yeah, it was good to see him kind of go from, like, no one's real favorite player and kind of a villain to, like, beloved fan favorite. I said before on the show, like, if he wants to go back to Uruguay, like, that's a player I do right by, and you let him go on his own terms. And it broke after that he wanted to go back, and he actually came to Sport and said, he has a family member, I believe, that is sick or home in a home or something, and he wanted to be there with them closer. So I understand wanting to go, and I understand just wanting to go back to your first club, your boyhood team too. Like, I'm never gonna begrudge a player for doing that.
It was either going to be this year or next year. So.
Yeah, like, we knew it was coming. It was just a year or two. It was a year sooner than people had anticipated because he had initially signed, like, the extension, but he went to Sporting and said, "Hey, this is my family situation now. Can we work out a deal?"
I think it was an automatic extension, so it was probably like a gentleman's agreement extension.
Yeah, Sporting did right by him, and that's a guy I think who deserved to be done right by for sure. I think he'd earned that right. Hate to see him go, but I understand. Like, he wasn't going to be here forever. It had to happen at some point. So best of luck to him. He was an awesome servant for the club, and he'll go down as one of the good ones. Yeah,
100%. Chris, what was your favorite Coates memory?
Yeah, obviously the ones that Rich mentioned are favorites. There's one that. For some reason, this one always stands out to me. It was a game against Tondela, I believe, in the 2017-18 season.
Okay.
The ref gave, like, +8, and then he just kept adding more and more time.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
And it went up until, like, +13, and then Coates scored a winner.
Yeah.
And it was
forgot about that game.
Yeah, that shit was so ridiculous. That wasn't even a good season, particularly.
No, they won.
That always stood out in my mind. Also, honestly, I think it might have been the same season. It was either the same season or the season after. Taça de Portugal semifinal, second leg at Alvalade. 85th minute, Coates karate kicked it.
It was the same season.
I believe Marcano tried to clear it, shittily cleared it to the top of the box, right to Coates, who fucking karate kicked it in. and I believe tied the game up or put us in the lead.
It sent the game into penalty kicks.
Yeah,
I remember that. I
yeah,
remember that season.
That was
yeah.
fucking. That was.
That
I mean,
was the
the
that
man's
was
got some
before
nice
Alcacet.
finishes over the years.
He's got a couple good goals in him. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that game very vividly. And yeah, that was the same season. That was the year they lost to Obs.
They lost to Obs. Yeah,
and then the
bad
next year
final.
and then the next year they beat Porto on penalties in both the League Cup and the toss-up.
Lost to a now folded club.
Lost to a team that doesn't exist anymore. How's it feel?
Their offspring it will be in the Primera Liga this coming season.
Their weird
AVS sad.
AVS their weird semi-aborted clone. AVS. I hope they go fucking blunt and sod 2.0. Go right back down. Get out of here. Portuguese sod. This is just the fact that that's
a situation that exists. R.I.P.
The fact that that's a situation that exists. Portuguese soccer is so stupid, man. that can just be a thing. That like football sod or whatever the hell they are, and blunt sod can just be a thing. That's so dumb.
My favorite quote is memory. There's an actual memory. I think that Juva sent one, but I remember before Amarim came in, before COVID hit. I can't remember if it was that January or maybe it was before. There was a newspaper cover. I think it was Alvalade. It was like fire sale, and it had Coates for like 6 million to AC Milan. And it was like we were going to blow up the whole team. Wendell was going.
It had price tags around their necks.
Yeah, it was kind of morbid and like gross.
Acuna was like 5 mil or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wendell. I think Wendell was the most expensive, like 15, and like Vieto was there, and these guys were there.
It was very the entire team. Yeah.
And
I forgot about that cover too. Yeah, that was bad.
It was also that same season where Coates gives away 3 penalties against Teremi in the Rio Ave, and I think people were saying this at this point. We were like, he needs to go. Like, we need to rebuild. I think it was. We need to rebuild. We need a new defense, and then to go on that to win 2 league titles. I don't think anyone expects us to win a league title in the next at least 10 years from Alcacet.
I didn't think I'd ever see it again, honestly.
Steelesh and all these guys. 2 league titles, 4 Taça de Portugal's, 1 Taça de Liga. Fuck's sake, 1 Taça de Portugal, 4 Taça de Ligas.
Slow down, time it out.
369 games, man. I think he's like one of the most, if not the most, capped foreign player.
I think he's the most capped foreign player, or like certainly among defenders, he's the most.
I know. He definitely overtook
defender,
Anderson Polga. He took Anderson Polga's spot, which was there because he played a lot of years. Just from going from that sort of fire sale, he needs to go to being. Let's be honest, he's a club legend at this point. I think 100%, and just him being as good as he is, I guess, is the best memory. And like you said, Richard, if there's anyone that deserves to go on his own terms, it's him. To be honest, he's been on one knee for the last 5 seasons, really, as well. His career probably doesn't.
He's been on one knee since at least COVID.
He definitely got injections and shit to play in big games.
Yeah. He's been in no comfort the last 4 or 5 years, I think. In everyday life.
But when there is loss, there is also good news, and that is our new captain, according to record and Nabola, is Morten Hjulmand, with Braganza and Inacio being the other part of the trio. Interesting choice because he, as far as we know, doesn't speak that much Portuguese, and to be a captain in the Portuguese league with the.
We're gonna be shocked when he has his first interview, like sit down interview, and he's gonna be whipping out better Portuguese than any of us. It's gonna be such a.
That happened with St. Just recently. I remember. Yeah, he was just speaking,
just rifling off.
Well, to be fair, he's had a lot of classroom time because he's been,
he's had the time. He's had to kill some time.
Humans been busier.
Yeah. But Chris, what do you think of it? Of Hjulmand being the captain, right decision?
I think it's a great decision. I hope that means that he's definitely staying because it's not like that was locked in for sure. So if that means he's definitely staying, hell yeah. I mean, he came in and became our, midfield general. It's when teams kind of and we didn't produce these players, to be fair, right? So it's not a 1-to-1 comparison, right? But bro, we're kind of you want to play CDM for Sporting, you got to be really fucking good. And him and the 2 previous CDMs that we've had are all world class, man. Let's be real. So he obviously had big shoes to fill, and he's shown that. I mean, he's our anchor, and I would even dare to say he brings a bit more offensively than the other 2. Maybe like slightly less defensively, but I mean, he had some goals this season. I could see like an 8-goal season from him. It is definitely possible.
Yeah, definitely. Richard, what about you?
Yeah, like a bit of a surprise, but like a pleasant surprise. I mean, we had talked even over the course of this past season how he had kind of, even on pitch, like anytime there was like a 50-50 challenge or like there was like a skirmish with the ref, he was always like one of the first ones in there and like being loud and voicing his opinion, just kind of acting a bit like a leader and a captain on the pitch. So it shouldn't come as like too much surprise. I just figured maybe they would go with someone who was a bit more senior on the club, like an Inacio or even like maybe a Pot. But I think it's a good choice. I think he's got a good head for it. I think he'll do well in the role. I think it's a good sign that he's staying. And we have our Chris Oliveira lookalike as the captain, so I got no complaints.
Yeah. So I like it, but I will say I think we need to buy a veteran or bring one in. Our oldest player at the moment is Ricardo Esgaio, and he apparently is leaving to either
Ricardo
Saudi
Esgaio's
or Italy.
Ricardo Esgaio's always given his all for the badge. It's just a shame that wasn't enough. It's never been enough.
But it's just like, okay, your oldest guy, I think he's like 30, 31 at a push.
Yeah.
We need some veterans, and I've seen there's some free agent veterans. I think Miguel Veloso is a free agent currently. Nani, of course, is a
31. We're both around.
31. Yeah. And Nani, free agent. Veloso, even if you wanted to go, I don't want this guy back, but like Rui Patricio is a free agent, and he was Portugal's sort of old man guy in this one, I suppose.
They do need like at least one more like requisite old guy because they've lost like 3. And they might be losing a 4th. So, yeah, you do need to get, like, at least one old dude.
After his guy, who is it? Nuno Santos, maybe? Like, Jokeres even? Like, 20...
It's Nuno Santos. It's literally Esgaio and then probably Nuno Santos, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think.
Mateus
maybe the goalkeeper, I don't know how
too.
the goalkeeper... Oh, yeah, Mateus Reis, of course, yeah. But, I mean, I like this as a captain, but I think there has to be someone in there that's, like the designated old captain. Because, the thing is with Coates leaving, I wouldn't mind it if he left, if it was just him. But we lost all 3 captains, Adan, Neto, and Coates. That is a big shift in locker room morale and just in general losing those big 3, especially Coates being, on the pitch. And I know Adan was, but Coates was always the guy communicating, always the captain.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we're going to need one of those guys in. I would like to see Nani and Veloso come in. I don't want to see them play.
I don't want to see them on the pitch. I just want to see them come in.
They need to be like how Neto was for us, basically. Or like a Joker was for us or something like that.
Play the nothing games and just get like the absolute garbage time minutes when you're up a couple goals.
Yeah, give them a few Taça de Liga games in the early rounds, Taça de Portugal games in the early rounds even, because Taça de Liga has changed. But I feel like we just need someone like that, and hopefully, Amorim knows more than I ever will. But we shall see.
I don't sell yourself short, to be fair.
Oh, man, thank you, man. I was waiting for one of you to say it.
I got you. I got the boys.
Some more bad news. St. Just.
This is a horrible week for if you're a Sporting in Portugal fan, man.
Get used to reading this one if you're not used to it already.
If you're new around these parts, you'll be seeing a lot of this.
So, a minor injury. But I feel like we've heard that before, and it turned out to be...
That means like 4 weeks for him.
That's like a month. His whole preseason shot.
And it is always before preseason. The first preseason, to be fair, shoulder surgery was out till September. Last preseason, he was fixed, and then he got injured. It's like, why, man? How?
Bro,
is it time to move on from St. Just?
Bro, I mean, if they're expecting him to be more reliable option because Coates is gone, I mean, they probably shouldn't do that.
He is the meme from SpongeBob. The dude just like all bandaged up. He goes, every day I wake up and I break every bone in my body. I'm in constant agony. like that is. I feel like that is St. Jude's. Bro is just made of glass. I'm pretty sure at this point.
Yeah. And the thing is, he is like he seems very nice. He seems like when he to be fair, when he does play, he's very good. Even when he got sent off against Portugal, he still scored the goal to put us in. He is a very good player, but it comes to a point is okay, if he's going to play 10 games a season, 15 at a push, and he's going to be injured for the rest of that, is it worth it? I mean, you could make the case that maybe Eduardo Quaresma is good enough to be in that role. I assume the back three next year will be De Bast, Diamonde, and Inacio, unless
Probably.
it's Inacio, Diamonde, Quaresma. I don't know if De Bast starts straight away. I don't know.
I imagine he will for what they paid for him. I imagine they're going to try to slot him in there.
Yeah.
For what you paid for him, you got to at least try.
Well, at least we'll see in preseason, I suppose. But
yeah, they got a couple games coming up in the next few weeks. So
yeah, but it's just a shame, man. Like you said, it just feels like you could tweet this on like April Fools and people would fall for it because it's interesting.
People wouldn't even question. They wouldn't even think, "Oh, it's April Fools."
You could tweet that on any day of the year, and people would.
And people would be like, "Yeah."
You could be like St. Jude sprains hamstring, like jet skiing. People would believe it.
Like, yep.
Yeah.
Is there any good news? Is there any good news on this show? By the way, there's been a lot of bad news on this. It's been a bad news heavy show.
Some more bad news.
all we know is despair on all things Alvalade.
Victor Gyökeres in Italy. Milan have been heavily rumoured the last few months. I don't know if anything's going to happen. I will say, as a note, Zlatan Ibrahimovic did say that they do have a striker that they're going to buy. He did not give any names, but apparently there is one that he's going to buy. I don't know if it's Gyökeres, but
it's Kyle Larin from the Canadian national team, obviously.
Maybe. But I don't know if you guys saw, Zlatan was also with YouTuber Speed today as a marketing stunt.
What a world we live in.
And then also I saw today on Logan Paul's podcast, they have Kevin Durant on, and Speed is also there as well.
That is the most random crossover I've ever heard of. That is up there for most ambitious crossovers. What a show that must be. Wow.
Yeah, Gyökeres is linked away. Let me just have a look and see if I can find some more bad news before going on to the good news, I suppose.
Screw you. Bad news.
I mean, we mentioned it briefly. It might be good news this one. And that is Esgaio is evaluating some proposals to leave from the Middle East. It seems to be picking up a lot more steam now.
News. That's bad news.
Bad news.
With Jenny and
some people might think this is good news.
Yeah, with Jenny and Fresneda coming in, especially for what we paid for with Fresneda, and didn't get that much chance, and Jenny just being probably one of the stand-up performers of the season. I think there is just no place for Ricardo Esgaio anymore, especially if you want to really make Fresneda the next next step.
How is there a place for him up until this point?
Also
big. Oh no! Anyways, energy on this one, not for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. To be fair, again, seems like a nice guy.
Seems like I said earlier, he's always given his all for the Sporting badge. It's just never been enough.
Yeah.
I got nothing personal against him, but yeah, I think it's just his time's up, man.
Yeah, we did mention his name earlier as well, but that is De Bast that was confirmed as a new Sporting signing, costing around 15.5 million euros from Anderlecht.
Plus bonuses, no?
Plus 5 in bonus.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a few million in bonuses. I thought so.
Puts him as the 4th highest record signing, just behind.
These are all these are pretty much all Verandas signings, except for Bas Doss. And look at the hit. So Gyökeres, Hjulman, Paulinho, Pot, Ugart.
There is one here that's is awful, and that's Vinagre. The rest,
Vinagre is really bad.
I would say Vieto was also quite bad as well, but not as bad as Vinagre.
I mean, they just kind of shoved him on us because we were doing that bullshit deal to clear up Jelson.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, he's worth $8 million. No, he's not.
No. That was a lie. Yeah, those are like the two.
Oh
like,
yeah, he's worth
crazy
11
ones, man.
million. Yeah.
Yeah,
dude,
those
you know he's
two
fucking
are
not,
like,
bro. He's worth like 2.
yeah. So 9 of the top 10 are Verdander signings, and like 2 of them are flat out misses. And then the St. Just one's like he's a good player. He just can't stay healthy. That's not a Verdander's problem. That's a St. Just problem, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's just no
crazy.
way to foresee that one, I suppose. But yeah, having release clauses as well of 80 million. So I like how we're putting big clauses on. And Chris, I think you might have tweeted this one. Merchandise, new merchandise coming out.
This would be correct.
It's sold out. So if you're
what's
seeing
the
this
dimension?
now,
what's the
it's too
dimensions
late.
of this? How big is this actually? Because that's a lot of money.
You're gonna be unpleasantly surprised when you see how tall it is.
I want to sell. If someone,
I think it's like 20 to 30 centimeters.
Yeah, I was gonna say if someone who's ordered this listens to the show, please send us a photo of you.
If I won the lottery, man.
Here's the other thing: it's sold out. But how many do you think they had? Like 5.
No, at least like 100.
You think they sold 100 of those?
I think there's 100 suckers.
Who are you? Where do you work?
There's 100. There is absolutely like 100 psychos that cheer for this team that would pay that money,
man.
Every
I wish I could just buy a little paperweight for 500 euros.
And then pay an extra 30 in shipping anyway.
Like you're paying that for you.
At that point, bro.
You know what you could buy for 500 euros? You could buy like a brand new iPhone.
Depending on how big it is, I wonder if they would charge you more to ship it as well. If it was like a massive one.
Maybe it's like heavy.
Order it and find out.
Sold out now. That's the only reason I can't buy it.
Turn on notifications for when it comes back in stock.
Roughly, it's like a foot tall. I mean, that's
so it's about the size. It's probably about the size of like this water bottle, give or take. Not much. Like
I mean, that's value, bro.
We did have an actual depart. Well, can you call it departure? I don't really know. Another loan move for Ruben Vinagre joining Legia Warsaw. Joining 4 clubs in 3 seasons.
Not even like attempting to be part of preseason. Just
flat out get out of the team. Wild.
Dude, and speaking,
he will never put this shirt on again, man.
No.
There was two other loans. One of them apparently is Koba, who is apparently heading to Estoril. And then
we talked about this last week too, Danny and I think.
Money laundering.
This is a weird. Yeah, I think this is like an Alvaro Morata money laundering situation.
There's one more I'm trying to find, and I'll scroll down until I find it. How long ago was this? There we go. We thought he was joining Paphos de Ferreira, and that's what Record told us. Turns out it was Paphos in Cyprus.
Paphos in Cyprus.
Very different.
Yeah.
Very similar.
I assume that's the top flight, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, it has to
let you know. Can let you know.
Also, I've not seen any
on the top flight, so I don't know what move is better. To be honest,
I've not seen any official pictures of it though, but I don't know if Paphos even have a football social media management team or anything like that.
They got a Wikipedia page.
They do. They are first division.
Nice. Where'd they finish last year?
I can tell you. 1 second. 1 second. 2023.
I hope like mid-table.
4th. They qualify.
Oh shit! Is he gonna get any burn?
They have a weird form. So they have a regular season, and then they also have like a playoff.
Yeah.
So they finished 4th in like their regular season, which is still pretty good. They finished 9 points off of first in 4th place, so not horrible. And then they ended up finishing 5th in the like championship round.
Mm-hmm.
And they qualified. They qualified for Europa League, like the first qualifying round, which will be in like a few weeks.
Dude, he's not gonna play, man. He should have just gotten the Pass Fadeda.
I'm just having a look at their squad to see if I recognize anyone. There is one guy I recognize who's for Chavez, João Carrera, but other than that, not a single name.
Yeah, I don't. We've done business with other Cypriot teams, but never this one.
Never these guys. These guys I've never even heard of.
There's not a single name I recognize from Paphos.
Mustafa name. That's
That logo looks AI
name.
generated, man. What is
That logo is
bro?
cooked. What that?
Is that, dude? It looks like the shittier version of the old Columbus Crew logo. God damn.
Bro, what is going? What is it? Is this even a real team? I'm starting to question this now.
Well, I don't know if you guys recognize anything from here. I feel like that's a name I recognize as
That
well.
name I remember, Pelagio, yeah.
From
This guy, I feel like I
Mauricio.
remember for Mauricio and stuff and stuff.
Portuguese players do tend to filter over there.
To the Mediterranean in general.
I mean, it's a nice
There's
place,
few.
to be fair. Give them
Like,
credit.
why not? It's beautiful weather, great food. Why wouldn't you? I'd go there in a heartbeat.
I don't know who the manager is either. Let's have a look.
Silas was down there for a little bit.
Assistant manager, PSG assistant manager. Oh, look at him. He went to Ibiza.
He went to Ibiza. This guy's sick.
Ibiza from Paphos. Yeah. He knows where to go.
Yes, guy.
Okay.
He knows where to go for the vibes. Maybe not for challenger success, but he knows where he's going for vibes. And I respect a coach like that.
Yeah. Fair play. And then, well, I guess we'll end it on this, which is still some players that are looking to be offloaded. Talongo, Jovan, José Esteves, Sotiris.
How much time does Jovan have left on his contract? Did he sign for like the end of
He
time?
signed an extension in that last season. He was a free agent.
Does he have left? Like 4?
Like surely.
He was going to be a free agent, and they were like, you know what, Cameron, we can't afford a striker. Just take Jovan.
And Amorim, being an idiot, was like, oh, okay. Should have. That's one he should have vetoed, man. I'm sorry. We should have capitalized on.
Dude, he only has 1 more year on the deal. That feels wrong, bro.
Who?
I guess it would have been a 3-year deal. I suppose it makes sense.
Yeah, it was. Damn, was that long ago?
It feels longer.
It was the season where we finished 4th, so it would be nearly 3 seasons.
So not even So not this is the last. That's why. That's crazy, man. We should have sold him after he went off in the bubble season.
Yeah,
I'm convinced. Bubbles go on. We should have sold him then. We could have got like
he was
12 million.
I remember he was about to go to Burnley. I remember Amorim
said, I remember he was linked to West Brom and Burnley and like all those bum ass things.
Amorim, I remember saying in a press conference that Jovan has a life-changing offer and he's gonna leave, and then he just didn't.
And then he just never. And I'm like, damn,
he would have been such a flop at Burnley, bro.
But you know what? We wouldn't have cared because we would have got our money and been like, sucks to you.
Weird ones as well. Tanlongo, like, okay,
dude, why did we buy him, bro? We like
got
told
him on
this
a
guy,
free,
like, we want you so bad. We're like potentially gonna break FIFA rules to sign you. Why?
Like we got him on a free, but like.
Yeah, because he was about to sign a renewal, and then we like colluded and told him not to, and to train apart.
Yeah,
wait for the deal to expire. Yeah, dude, that ridiculous.
That was ridiculous. Yeah, he played a couple games with us, had an okay under 20 World Cup like that year, and then that was it. We never heard from him again.
Now he's just in the permanent loan, the perma loan cycle.
The loan cycle. He's gonna be like one of the Philip Chavis of the world. Same with Sotiris and Esteves, it looks like.
I mean, against Sotiris, that's another one. It's like, why was he even bought? It was just like
that was an Amorim panic. That was an Emery. That was a Fernandes panic buy. I'm convinced.
Mateus Nunes replacement. Sotiris came in.
Yeah,
can't remember a single thing he did. I remember. No, that's a lie. When we played when we got knocked out to the 3rd division team, and Amorim singled him out in the press conference. Or I think it was maybe the story was like, Sotiris wasn't good enough.
Yeah, he'll go down as one of the players of all time for this club.
The one that really upsets me is Gonzalo Esteves. I thought he would be
everything.
Something, man.
He's got no mentality.
He should just join Ibiza FC, bro, and just
go where there's vibes. Honestly,
you can make good money playing in La Liga too. Trust me,
But it also would have been such a good, because we had a few Porto players come through, and some of them have left now. Marco Cruz just left, who came from Porto. I think Abreu,
that illegal money laundering scheme that sent Rodrigo, whatever the fuck his name is, then got us Marco Cruz. That was just an L for both sides.
That was a rare transfer where nobody.
We apparently won that deal. We're like, oh yeah, this kid's like the captain of Porto under 21. Like he's really good.
He's gonna cook, and then
Didn't work out.
But I feel like if Gonzalo Esteves succeeded, we could have, made that promise of leave Porto's youth team, leave Benfica's youth team, because that was the whole thing with Amorim at the start, wasn't it?
He was
he
the
loves
youth
the youth
movement.
academy, and all the sporting players got promoted. And then if you next year you make Gonzalo Esteves the first team, obviously Pedro Porro was there, so not going to happen. But man, that's the one that I'm just like, man, what could have been? And I mean, there's still time. Maybe he has like an Eduardo Quaresma thing, but the fact he's not even in pre-season or even the B team at this point is just like
brutal.
And he went to AZ, I think, in Netherlands, and
that was
their B team on loan.
Bro. He should go to Mafra.
Yeah. Oh well.
Bro needs to go literally anywhere else.
Well, that's to be fair. A lot of these aren't the highest earners anymore. Rafael Camacho is finally gone.
Finally off the books.
The highest earner in sporting
what
probably
a signing, man.
Yeah. We had 5 million for him.
That's crazy.
And Eduardo Enrique went as well last year.
What other news?
Went that last year as well. What other news
have we got, Sam? You gotta need more great news for us on the Happy Sunshine Hour.
I can't really find anything too happy.
It's really not that. I mean, that basically is all the news there is.
Yeah.
I mean, brutal. I will show you this one. Not news, but tell me that isn't Jorge Jesus, please. That is 100%.
Dude, if he looked like that, he'd be up at least 5 more points from where he is.
Yeah.
The internet, everything else was the same. Yeah. His speech, his brain, everything was the same, but he had that hair, he'd be
5
up
points.
A few
Plus
points.
5.
Yeah.
XG goes up by at least 1.0. Man, the internet is kind of a cesspool, but sometimes you get just funny stuff like that, which is what it's made for. I'm convinced.
Yeah, I guess we can end on sort of a more positive story, if you guys want, and that is Jean Muniz apparently having a guaranteed place in Ruben Amorim's school. We were just talking about youngsters from the academy, left-footed, see him as a natural successor to Inacio. Apparently had a big offer from Germany, which apparently was, I think, more than 10 million. I think it was near the 15 mark, and we rejected it because, we believe in him apparently. But it'd be good to see him get some minutes in pre-season. Maybe we don't sign another centre-back, and maybe he's one of the options. Because I feel like we have enough of them now. But,
with Quaresma having made the leap this last season, I think you feel a bit more comfortable.
But we have just lost 2, and now we've brought in 1 in the Bast. So I don't know if we need if John Muniz is going to be another one. I don't know if any other youngsters are going to make the jump to the first team this year, but I think that's some good news, depending if it happens or not, because it is an Ebola source, but who knows? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Unless you guys can think of anything else.
It's just
I think he's got a good shot to get in the team, man.
Yeah, he's got.
Especially if we don't buy another center back.
He's got a chance.
Yeah. Especially with apparently Inacio being probably the next up to leave, if not Gyökeres. I think Hjulman probably stays now.
I think Hjulman probably stays. I think unless they find another striker, Gyökeres probably, or they get the release clause, Gyökeres probably stays.
We do need a striker as well. We lost.
That's the thing. They have no other striker right now. It's going to be the.
I will say Rodrigo Ribeiro is in preseason. Is it finally time for him to make?
Is he going to be able to be an option? Who the heck knows, right? Like, he could surprise you.
You want to know what's kind of crazy? Is that he made 5 Premier League appearances last season.
He did. That is a stat.
I can't believe that happened. Like, how is that number above? How is that number above 0?
I'm sure he can't believe it happened either. If we're being honest.
He must have George Mendes as his agent, surely.
Who's his agent? I can see his agent as, please. I need to know now.
I mean, how do you end up at Nottingham without that?
Yeah, not even like a championship, like a Premier League team.
Bro, I mean, that's
value.
I can't believe he even got out of like the under 21 team, man. Yeah. I mean, they didn't activate the option to buy, so obviously they weren't like so impressed. But I mean,
they had enough to be like, well, we can play him a few games.
As of right now, bro, there's not many people else.
Well, people were surprised that he didn't make the team instead of Chimiti last year when we called someone up. But he's player agent apparently PCR. No, I mean, William Carvalho is a part of that group as well.
Might be a satellite one. Like you know how like a Bruno's agent, like what's his name? Pinheiro, I think his name is like kind of like a men's satellite guy. So it could be that.
Could be that.
Carlos Force from Ajax as well. Martin Fernandez from Porto. William Carvalho, Rodrigo Ribeiro. I mean,
a couple guys. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Don't know. But
William Carvalho is definitely one that makes me go,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, contract 2 more years left. Well, 1 more. No, yeah, 2 more years.
Oh,
who knows?
Fair.
But yeah, that's everything. Unless you guys can think of anything else.
I'm just gonna be anxiously watching my TV, Copa America tonight. How's it feel? How's it feel to be the baby brother in CONCACAF finally, Chris? What's it like?
I mean, it feels like it's deserved, man.
Yeah.
You guys got the best coach, and we got the.
We were joking. I was joking with my dad. I'm like, we're gonna just like pull a Greece. We're gonna like terrorize our way to this somehow, and win the whole Copa America. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, bro,
it'd be hilarious.
I mean, the U.S. is just—it's kind of like Portugal, bro. Just like rudderless, man.
There's no
leadership,
direction.
Pretty selfish players, bad coach, bad management.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not good, dude. The talent's there, just like Portugal.
Oh, for sure. Like, there's on paper they're like
rudderless.
A good team. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this will probably be our last podcast, and maybe till the preseason.
Couple weeks.
We'll probably be back, and we'll be back in time for Super Tasa on August 3rd for sure.
We'll probably be back before that.
That might be a lot. Stick around and follow us on the social media. Sam's about to plug them below in a minute, and we may do a little cheeky live stream for the Super Tasa. We may test that out, so stick around.
Yeah, and as these guys know, we've got big things coming. Hopefully, in the next few weeks as well, which we will let you guys know of.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow all things Alvalade on all social media and podcast platforms. But before we go, make sure you follow first Danny, who couldn't make it today. You can follow him there. You can follow his fellow Canuck there, Richard, as well. You can follow Chris there also, and myself. But again, if you haven't done already, follow us on all things Alvalade on all social media platforms. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace.